I thought the worst moment of my life was when my wife left me, but I was wrong. Because 2 months after the divorce, on a quiet Sunday morning in a small American town, my ex-wife's younger sister knocked on my door, crying, and what she told me in the next 30 seconds shattered everything I knew. Welcome back to my channel, Classic Stories. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Now, let's dive into the story. My name is Ethan Walker, and until a year ago, I thought my life was simple, steady, and full of meaning. A small suburban home in Boulder, Colorado, a steady job repairing appliances, and a tiny little girl, Lily, my 5-year-old world. But life has a cruel way of proving how fragile comfort is. 2 months ago, my wife Clara walked out. No grand fight, no dramatic goodbye, just a quiet sentence. I need space. I need to find myself. Divorce papers came swiftly after, and silence came even faster. The house used to echo with laughter. Clara singing in the kitchen, Lily's toys clattering across the wooden floor. But 2 months later, all that remained was the faint hum of the refrigerator I had repaired myself and the ticking of a cheap wall clock I kept forgetting to replace. Every morning was the same. Wake up at 6:30, make Lily pancakes, drop her at preschool, fix a heater, a dryer, a broken microwave, pick her up, dinner, bedtime stories. Repeat. A routine saves you from drowning, but it doesn't fill the emptiness inside. I wasn't angry anymore, just hollow. But everything changed the morning someone knocked. A gentle knock, not a stranger's knock, not a neighbor's. A familiar knock, hesitant yet desperate. I opened the door and froze. Standing there in the soft early light was Sophie, Clara's younger sister, the woman who barely ever spoke to me during my marriage. Shy, reserved, quiet like snowfall, soft-spoken elementary school teacher, always polite, always distant. But that day she looked shattered. Her eyes were red, her hands trembled, her voice cracked when she spoke. Ethan, we need to talk. It's about Clara. My heart stuttered. I stepped aside and let her in. She hesitated. She always did. Then walked in slowly, looking around the house like she was seeing something sacred. Her eyes landed on Lily's toys, the half-folded blanket on the couch, the breakfast plates. This place still feels like home, she whispered almost to herself. I didn't know what to say. My throat was already tight. Finally, she sat down at the small wooden table. Her fingers twisted together nervously. She's sick, she whispered. Clara, she's very sick. I froze. What do you mean, sick? She has leukemia. Her voice cracked on the last word. The room tilted. The clock above me ticked loudly, each sound sharper, heavier. She didn't tell anyone, not even me. She hid it for months. And now she's in the hospital. A long silence. I stared at the coffee mug on the table, unable to breathe. For all the pain Clara caused, she was still Lily's mother. Still a part of my story. She's been asking for you and Lily, Sophie whispered. She's scared, Ethan. I didn't think. I simply stood up and walked to Lily's room. Picked up her little pink backpack. Came back. Let's go. Sophie's eyes softened, not with pity, but with a quiet admiration I didn't deserve. The hospital smelled of antiseptic and sorrow. When we entered the room, Clara looked smaller than I remembered. Fragile, pale, her hair thinning beneath a soft beanie. She opened her eyes slowly. When she saw Lily, tears slid down her cheeks instantly. Mommy, you look tired, Lily said innocently. Clara smiled weakly and brushed her hair. I missed you so much. I stood in the corner, hands shaking, watching a moment I wasn't sure I deserved to witness. Clara looked at me, really looked. I was a fool, Ethan, she whispered. I walked away from the only family I ever had. I thought freedom would save me, but all I ever wanted was already here. I wanted to speak, to apologize for my part, to say something comforting, but some moments require silence. Behind me, Sophie wiped her tears quietly. We visited the hospital every evening. Lily colored in the chair beside her mother. Clara slept most of the time, her strength fading. I talked only when she asked. Sophie was always there, always, reading softly, adjusting Clara's blanket, guiding Lily gently. Quiet strength, invisible devotion. I began noticing things I had never seen before. The way Sophie listened, not just with her ears, but with her heart. The way she spoke to Lily like she was already family. The way she took care of everything without ever asking for thanks. She never tried to replace Clara, never tried to step into a role. She just showed up and stayed. One night, as the hospital dimmed, Clara's voice weakened. She grabbed my hand. Take care of her, and take care of Sophie too. She's been my strength when I had none. I swallowed hard. The next morning, Clara passed away peacefully. And even though our marriage had ended long before her life did, my heart still broke. Life didn't go back to normal. It found a new shape, a quieter shape. Sophie visited often, at first to help Lily cope, then to bring meals, then to help with homework. Sometimes she came just to talk, sometimes just to listen. The house began feeling like a home again, not because someone filled Clara's absence, but because someone brought gentleness back into the silence. One evening, rain pattered against the windows. I found Sophie in the kitchen with Lily, baking cookies, flour on her cheek, hair in a messy bun, laughing in a way I had never heard before, light, free, pure. Lily looked up innocently and said, "Aunt Sophie, you should stay with us forever. Daddy smiles more when you're here." Sophie froze, her cheeks flushed bright pink, and for the first time in months, I felt something warm expand in my chest. Later that night, after Lily slept, I found Sophie standing on the porch, staring at the rain. "She's right," I said softly. She turned. "About what?" "You make this place feel like home again." Her breath caught. I stepped closer, not touching, not assuming, just honest. "I didn't think I would ever find peace again," I said. "But somehow you brought it back. Not by replacing anyone, just by being you." Her eyes shimmered. "I never planned any of this," she whispered. "I just didn't want you both to feel alone. And now," I said quietly, "I can't imagine a day without you here." Tears slipped down her cheeks, but this time they weren't from grief. Sunlight poured into the house the next morning. Lily came running into our room, holding a drawing. 3 stick figures holding hands beneath a bright yellow sun. "Look, Daddy, our family." I looked at the picture, at Lily's wide smile, at Sophie's embarrassed, tear-filled eyes, and suddenly the world didn't feel heavy anymore. It felt hopeful, soft, new, possible. Sometimes life breaks us, so it can rebuild us stronger. I lost love once, but found it again in the most unexpected place. Not in the past, not in someone returning, but in someone who had quietly been there all along. Someone who brought warmth after storm. Someone who stayed.